You're going to be okay. Today on Fortitude through Stoicism, and this is my 365-day journey of implementing the ancient philosophy of Stoicism into the life of this modern masculine man. Had a huge moment yesterday on the plane heading to Shreveport, Louisiana. I have been doing this deep dive into Stoicism now for over a year. And the entire time I've been wrong. The entire time I was struggling with the end concept of eudaimonia. Here's why. I've heard it described in books. I was listening to a lecture by Jonathan Bai, however you say his name. And he had on a famous philosopher on there, and they're having this debate about Stoicism and what it really is, and it's a coping mechanism. The reason why they are wrong, and I'm saying they are wrong and so many are so wrong, is their elementary understanding of eudaimonia. I've heard it described this way so many times. It is the ultimate state of happiness, a euphoria. That is wrong. Eudaimonia actually comes from Aristotle. He introduced eudaimonia as the final state of human flourishing, representing the ultimate goal of human existence and ethical behavior. The translation of eudaimonia as happiness is criticized as misleading at minimum, but completely wrong, because the failure to capture the depth and complexity of Aristotle's concept. Matter of fact, it doesn't even translate. The word happy in the English language came much later. The etymology of happiness is really the concept of chance. It's a snapshot at a specific moment. It is not an enduring state. It is wrong. It is fucking wrong. So, what does that mean? What does the final state in human flourishing means? Well, let's look at an oak tree. Now, an oak tree doesn't have the final stage in what Aristotle sees as reasoned choice, right? It knows how to feed itself. It can, kind of tilt towards the sun. It's alive. But does it really have reasoned choice? Can the tree get up and move because it feels that the sun is better over there? Not really, right? So in the concept of an oak tree, in its ultimate flourishing, what does it look like? How big is it? The leaves are full and beautiful. The acorns are thick and nutrient dense, and it's the most beautiful specimen that oak tree can possibly be. Now, the difference with humans is our reasoned choice. We have the ability to change our environment. So he introduces the concept of eudaimonia as the final state, the greatest achievement, the pinnacle of your existence. At no point does that mean happy. At no point does that mean free of pain. It means that you are in the greatest state of your flourishing. And when Zeno started Stoicism on the Stoa, that's how it became Stoicism, is because in Athens, where they were down by the Stoa, is a specific building, and if you wanted to learn that under that school of philosophy, you were down there with by the Stoa with the Stoics, right? Stoicism became the third major philosophy behind Plato's and Aristotle's and then Stoicism. But what's really interesting to me is my now understanding, and thank you, Dr. James Orr. I'm in the fifth series, or the fifth part of a 6-part course in ancient philosophy taught by Dr. James Orr through the Jordan Peterson Academy. And now, once I truly understood the evolution of philosophical thought, being and becoming, and from the very beginning, followed all the way through and seeing the shift, and now when we get to the Stoics, it's kind of like a smorgasbord of ideas where they've picked from different schools and different thoughts. But this changes the game for me a little bit, because one, for me, happiness was never the end goal. Someone who is committed to lifelong learning and progress and walking a path of wisdom, happiness just seemed very vain. It seemed empty. It seemed like, forgive me for saying this, but it seemed like a Christian value. No, thank you. I seek truth. I seek depth. I seek enlightenment. You don't get that in Christianity. I'm sorry, you don't. So this vain goal of happiness, no. But alternatively, to reach our greatest extent of flourishing in all things, that's a worthy pursuit. That is a very worthy pursuit. So, with that in mind, we're going to shift to today's lesson. You're going to be okay. The quote by Marcus Aurelius from Meditations: "Don't lament this, and don't get agitated." And now we're going to shift to Ryan Holiday, Mr. Blue, because here it goes. I can already smell it already, his emotional distress. There's that feeling we get when something happens. It's all over now. It's all lost. What follows are complaints, pity, and misery. The impotent struggle against something that has already happened. Why bother? It already happened. And again, I have something from my past that reared its ugly head over the weekend, and it bit me. I acknowledged it. I put it back. I let it go. This is not going to ruin my day. This is not going to ruin my week. This is not going to ruin my week. It's not going to ruin my month. It is already over and gone and done. Because we have no idea what the future holds. No idea what's coming around the corner. It could be more problems. And if you're so focused on the negative and the darkness and the problems, you're never going to really truly understand that it's always darkest before dawn. This too shall pass. You're going to be okay. It's already over. And as they say in Buddhism, there is no need to get stung with the second arrow. The first one hurt. No sense in keep reliving it. There's no sense in watching the replay. You felt it. You learned from it. You let it go. Accept it. Ignore it. Move on. Aim, right? That's a concept. Aim. I acknowledge and accept it. Yeah. It's over. I'm ignoring it. And now moving on. Aim. So you don't get stung with the second arrow. If we're a true Stoic, there is one thing that we can always be sure of. Whatever happens, we're going to be okay. It's just a thing. It's just an event. And if we're in our present clear mind, we can adapt. We can adjust. We can move on. This is the impermanence of life. Things are not always great. Things are not always bad. There is the change and fluidity in life, and I understood this concept when I was early on in my career, and I was in the mortgage business. And hey, you have great months and you have bad months, and the market shifts, and I always said to myself, it was a fishing reference. There is no need to be a salmon when you can be a dolphin, right? Be a dolphin, not a salmon. What the hell does that mean? Well, if you ever watch dolphins, they kind of surf in and out of those waves. They ride them. It looks just so natural, so fluid. And then you watch the salmon. They're trying to swim upstream. They jump. They can't meet the cliff. They jump. They can't meet the cliff. They jump. Fucking buried some, right? No thanks. Salmon are great. 3-year life cycle. That's it. Dead. I don't like that plan. There's no sense to swim against the current, right? It's going to be what it's going to be, and you are going to be okay. Take me for an example. You can't do more than has happened to me. Medically, physically, legally, emotionally. I have found a way to successfully lose everything in this life that has ever meant anything to me. And what we realize when, we're through our studies and we realize, well, maybe I shouldn't get so attached to those things. Maybe I shouldn't get so attached to people or the good times in our life. And again, I love my principles of Dokido because we talk about the power in detachment. Desire is a chain that binds the spirit. To walk freely, one must cast off its weight. Liberation lies in prioritizing purpose over these cravings. In detachment, you find the strength to pursue your path without distraction. You're going to be okay. No matter what, you're going to be okay. That is the power in acceptance. And on that, shower time.